Welcome back to another episode of Be Our Guest here on Musical Theater Radio. I am your host, as always, Jean-Paul Jovanoff. The 2022 Edinburgh Fringe is going up very soon as of this recording, and we are going to talk to one of the creators of Dots and Dashes, a Bletchley Park Musical. Let's welcome to the show, Katie Damer. Katie, hello.
Hello, thank you very much for having me on.
No problem. I love discovering new shows that I've never heard of, and I love introducing our listeners in the world to them as well. So thank you. I look forward to learning more about it.
Thank you very much.
No problem. So before we get going, we need to know a little bit about you, how we got to this point of the show. So in 30 seconds, who is Katie Damer? The 30-second bio of Katie.
Okay, 30 seconds. I'm a 23-year-old actress from Manchester. I've just graduated from the University of Chichester. And yeah, I do a bit of acting, a bit of writing, which is how Dots and Dashes Bletchley Park Musical came to be. I'm one of 6 of ChopLogic Productions, which is the company that's created the show. I'm a runner. I like food. I work in a pub. That's my part-time job. Yeah, I'd say that's pretty much a sum up of my life at the minute.
Nice, very nice.
30 seconds, I think that was a bit under, but
that's okay. Do you want to fill it with what's your favorite thing to serve at the pub?
My favorite thing to serve? I quite like just a double vodka lemonade because it excites me, because that's what I drink as well.
Now our 30 seconds are filled. We know a lot more about you. Once we know what the person drinks, we know a lot about the person. And you probably see that working in a bar or a pub, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. All right, so let's talk about the musical Dots and Dashes. Give us a little synopsis of the show.
So it's an all-female musical. It's about the workers of Bletchley Park during World War II. So basically, it was a government operation that was used to kind of intercept enemy messages during the war, to try and obviously, help towards the war efforts. And 2/3 of the people that worked there were all women, but it was all kept a complete secret. So no one was allowed to know about it. They weren't even allowed to tell their families. They had to lie about where they were working. It was all just under complete secrecy. So the show kind of follows the lives of these women that worked there from a kind of point of view of the war and how their efforts contributed, but also from a point of view of, being a woman in those times where life was unfortunately a lot more difficult than it is now. And then looking at also how we still struggle with some of them difficulties today. So it kind of parallels between being a woman then and being a woman now. And it just looks at the lives of those women and their relationships and their problems.
What was the impetus for writing the show? What set you off to wanting to do this?
It was a funny story, to be honest, because it all started as a bit of a joke. We were all at university together, and in our 3rd year, we have to create an hour-long production. And me and 2 of the other girls were watching a production of Hairspray, and one of the girls was like, "Oh, should we write a musical? That'll be a laugh, won't it?" And I'm a big musical theatre fan anyway, and a few of the other girls are. And we were like, "Oh, yeah, very funny." Because we're not, particularly professionally trained in musical theatre. And then it came to it, and we went, "I tell you what, let's go into the studio, let's spend an hour, try and write the opening song, and let's see where we end up." And we wrote the song, and we went, "Okay, this could work." And one of the other girls, Martha, had turned around and was like, "Oh, it's a really random idea, but we're a group of 6 women. We wanted to do something female-based." She was like, "What about Bletchley Park?" She said, not a lot of people know about it. And yeah, that was how it came to be, really.
It's funny. I hear a lot of stories where it's, it was a bit of a joke and we weren't going to do it. And then it becomes real. And a lot of the times it is people who don't know the rules of writing musical theater and just do it. And I find that is the best way to do it. What experience did you find learning to write the show?
So it was definitely a huge learning curve. We initially started off, when we first started writing the songs, we were taking inspiration from the Andrews sisters, for example, was sort of a big inspiration for us. And then as it went on, we've got a song in the show called "Keep Calm and Carry On." And we spent ages painting, going, how can we write the music for this? Like, what does it need to be? And we ended up basing the backing of the music off of the Morse code for SOS, because in Bletchley Park, they used, Morse code to translate everything. And so it was little things like that, like little gems like that, that, you know, I don't know if you ever would kind of think of that if you're not a musical writer, but because we were clutching at straws trying to put this music together, we were finding all these weird and wonderful ways to create the songs and, you know, create all of the things around the show. But it's funny as well, because another girl, Charlotte, she was playing the piano to come up with the instruments, and then we were creating all the tracks on GarageBand, and we'd have rehearsals where I was just sat there singing notes at Charlotte and going, play this in the piano and see what it sounds like. And that was kind of how it all came to be. Very silly.
Nice. So when did the thought for coming to do this show first start? How long ago was that?
It was last September it would have been. So it was a really quick process. So we thought of the idea in September, and then we actually, from the start of rehearsals to the performance, we made it in 6 weeks. So it was a really like intensive process. And that was when we performed it at university. Initially, Edinburgh Fringe wasn't particularly thought about, but then we performed it and we got kind of rave reviews, and then we went, okay, we need to do something with this now. So yeah, we went straight into planning mode and just applied.
Wow, you just jumped feet first in and then just did it. Wow, that's incredible. So how many, you're one of the co-creators and co-writers. How many people work on the show? How many people wrote it?
So there's 6 of us all together. We've all written the show together, created it. We've sorted literally everything. We've got no PR person for Edinburgh. You know, I'm sending emails every day going, please come and watch our show. Begging everyone. So yeah, it's literally just a 6-person operation, and then we've got 1 extra person who's coming along to tech it. Yeah, and that's us. That's the team.
So the 6 of you wrote the show, or it's a collaborative effort for all the songs?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, all collaborative.
What was that process like? Because I understand, like, it's hard enough just to work with another person, but when you've got 6 people putting their ideas in, and what was that process like?
To be honest, it was quite easy.
Good, that makes it better.
Yeah, easy to work with them. You know, so we're all like best mates. So and you know, we spend a lot of time together. You know, I was living with 2 of the other girls, and so we were together constantly. But I think that kind of relationship and that closeness allowed us to, you know, be able to express our opinions and be able, you know, to turn around and go, God, that's a terrible idea, we're not doing that. Or yeah, that's amazing, let's run with it. You know, I think we had that closeness where we could do that. And so that was actually quite nice in that process, to have so many brains sometimes, you know, and one person hit a wall going, I don't know what we can do with this. There was 5 other people to go, right, here's an idea, let's go.
Wow. It's such a beautiful parallel that the 6 of you have this shared experience of being together and friends, and then you've got the characters parallel, right? They're working on something as well. That's a nice symmetry, and it's beautiful for you guys.
Yeah, for sure.
So when did you find out? So obviously the process you said is really quick. When did you find out and decide to go into Edinburgh, and what was that experience when you found out you're going? Because Edinburgh is huge, the Fringe Festival.
Yeah. So initially we discussed taking it to Edinburgh, not this year, but next year. And this was just before we performed it. And then when we performed it and received the kind of feedback that we did, we were like, we need to do this now. And then it was just sort of, it was all guns blazing. You know, we were just straight together, like meeting for like 12 hours a day, just applying. And it was exciting at first, but obviously there's always that kind of nervous energy behind it. We started a fundraiser for Edinburgh, because obviously it's so incredibly expensive. Yep. And I think the first day we started the fundraiser, we made £1,000, I think, in the first day. And so it was just, our minds are blown, you know. I'm a humble person. I couldn't believe what was going on. And it's just been, you know, the whole process has been so lovely, just the support that we've had from family and from friends and from, you know, people being excited about our show. It's so lovely to see.
Very cool. So tell me a little bit more about the other people in the show, the other writers, and so we can get to know them as well.
Yes. So there's Charlotte Fenning, Martha Morris, Amber May Hutton, Lisa Hazel White, and Tabitha Radcliffe. We're from all over the country. I think there's a few from London, there's one from Reading, one from Forest of Dean, which is Gloucester. So we're a countrywide group, which has proved interesting in the run up to Edinburgh, with us not all being together. But yeah, they all did the same boat as me. They did acting at the University of Chichester as well. They're all kind of aspiring actors. Yeah, they're a group of very, very cool gals, I think. And it's been a pleasure to do the show with them.
Is it a collaborative directing as well, or do you have a director and a choreographer or anything like that?
All collaborative. So the music is predominantly me and Charlotte. So Charlotte plays the piano and comes up with all the backing, and then I do all the lyrics and the vocal arrangement. And then Lisa inputs it onto GarageBand on her Mac. So even that, is like a little step down thing. Yeah, and then choreography wise, again, none of us are dancers, so that's just a painful process of someone doing a move and someone else going, we can't do that. And then that goes on for a little bit until we find something that we're happy with. Yeah, it's all self-directed, all done by us.
So how would you describe the sound of the show, the musical, the music tonality?
It's quite orchestral, really. There's not a lot of like percussion. It's quite kind of string based and piano based. I think it's quite unique. I really like musicals, and I've not really listened to anything that kind of sounds so like it. I think because a lot of the songs, they're not very like stereotypical musical theatre. They're very like sort of based off of emotion and of character and of kind of telling the story. And I think because we're not musically trained, that's given the songs a really different sound to what you would normally come across in musicals. Maybe that's just me being ignorant and having not heard another musical that's going, excuse me. But yeah, I think it is quite a unique sound, really. I think.
Nothing wrong with that, and the unique sounds is what we need in musical theater right now, because everything is possible. Because what isn't musical theater now, right? So
yeah, true.
So who would be the target audience if you were going to pitch this to someone? I know everybody wants everybody to come, and that's wonderful, but who do you think is going to react to this show?
I think women, especially. It's quite political in its comments on women. As much as it focuses on a historical period, at the very end there's a little thing that ties everything to modern day and kind of talks about how women still have these problems now. And so I think that's quite a big audience reach out. But for the show as a whole, I'd say it's quite open to quite a large audience. I think families would quite enjoy it. People who are interested in history and learning about things like that, I think would be an ideal audience. There's no ragingly inappropriate language in it, so it's open to kids and teenagers, and yeah, I think it's quite an accessible show. I think in that sense.
Nothing wrong with an accessible show. If everybody can go see it.
And everybody please do.
Exactly. Is there a song in the show that would be perfect for auditions? Because sometimes there's just a standout song that everybody just loves. Is there a song in the show that people should be listening for?
So I think this is another thing that actually makes the soundtrack quite unique, is that the music in the show, because it's been such a collaborative process, the songs are also very, very ensemble based. So I think there's one solo in the show, and all of the rest involve everyone, I think, if I'm right in saying that. So yeah, I think I don't know. One of my personal favourites is it's called "Their Lives Are in Our Hands," and that one kind of features solos from every member of the cast, but then it all kind of comes together and everyone sings together at the end. And I think that's one of my favourite bits, and definitely one of my favourite things that I did in the show. So I think that'd be my one to listen out for, but maybe I'm biased.
And that's okay. Everyone can pick their favorite, and there's nothing wrong with that. Is that the one? Is that the one you worked on most?
Probably, yeah.
Then there's definitely nothing wrong with it.
I wasn't going to say that bit.
You know what? That's okay. You can always like your own stuff. There's nothing wrong with that. That is awesome. Congratulations to you and the entire company on getting that up. So tell us, we need the details. So we know the 2022 Fringe is coming up as of this recording. Tell us the who, the what, where, why, how about the Fringe, and how to learn more about you in the show.
So we are on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. It's at @musical. So you can find us there, or you can just Google Dots and Dashes of Bletchley Park Musical Edinburgh Fringe. You'll find all the info there. We're playing in Army at the Fringe in the Drill Hall venue, the 16th to the 28th of August at 8:30 p.m. Every day apart from Mondays. So yeah, we'll be there. Tickets are, I think if I'm correct in saying, £12 and a £10 concession. But yeah, if you head to the socials, which you can give us a follow on if you're interested and you like, or yeah, head to the ticket website and you can find out all the info there. And we've been listed as what's on stage, as one of the top musicals to see at Fringe this year. So that's a pretty cool brag that I'll just throw out there.
Nice. Yeah, you better throw that out there. That's important.
Yeah. I'll chuck that one in.
Nice. Well, and we will have it on our socials as well. So if you can't find, Dots and Dashes socials, head to ours, which will lead to yours, because we want to help promote your work. And again, congratulations on a 6-week creation and getting it up and getting it going. And I look forward to hearing what becomes of it after the show.
Thank you so much.
No problem. So Katie, break a leg, you and the crew.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me on.
No problem. All right. We were just speaking with Katie Damer, one of the creators, not creations, of Dots and Dashes, a Bletchley Park musical. Tune in next week as we'll be speaking with another guest or guest about their life, love, and passion that is musical theater. I am your host, as always, Jean-Paul Jovanov. And until next time, I'll see you when I see you.